He launched a website that looked, honestly, kind of stupid. A blank grid, a counter at 0, and a promise that sounded impossible. Because he wasn't selling a product. He was selling a bet. On August 26, 2005, Alex 2 put 1 million pixels online, priced at $1 each. And for the first few days, nothing happened. No attention, no sales. Just an empty page, and the feeling that he'd made a very public mistake. He was this close to quitting. But a few months later, that same page would cross $1 million. Not because of luck, but because he understood something most people ignore. How attention becomes value. This is the true story of the $1 million homepage. In 2005, he wasn't a founder with investors. He wasn't famous. He wasn't even out of school. He was a 21-year-old student in England, staring at the same problem millions of people face. Money pressure before life even starts. Tuition, bills, and the fear of graduating into a life he didn't choose. He wasn't chasing luxury. He was chasing an exit. Something that could change his financial future before it became permanent. One night, Alex came up with an idea that sounded like a joke. A website made of exactly 1 million pixels. A 1,000 by 1,000 grid. He would sell the pixels as ad space, but not individually, because a single pixel is basically invisible. So he sold them in blocks. Small squares like 10 by 10 pixels. Minimum price, $100. Buy a block. Place your logo. Link it to your site. That was the entire product. But here's what made it smart. It wasn't really about pixels. It was about perception. A public scoreboard. A grid that the entire internet could watch fill up, piece by piece. 1 million pixels. $1 million. And it created one irresistible question. Will it actually reach 1 million? So he launched the site. And almost nothing happened. No traffic. No trust. Some people laughed at it. Imagine that moment. You're broke. You took a risk. You put it online for the world to judge. And the screen stays empty. This is where most people stop. Because simple ideas don't protect your ego. 3 days in, he finally got his first sale. Not from a big brand. From a friend. A small online music site bought the first block, 400 pixels. It wasn't a win. It was a signal. But even then, momentum didn't magically appear. So Alex did the unglamorous work nobody posts about. Cold emails, forum posts, direct outreach to small businesses, convincing people to take the first bet when the bet looked stupid. A few pixels sold, then a few more, and then the page stopped being empty. And that changes everything. Because once progress is visible, people assume something is happening. And when people assume something is happening, they pay attention. What Alex tapped into, maybe without realizing it, was basic behavioral economics. Social proof, scarcity, and the power of a public scoreboard. Progress created belief. Belief attracted attention. Attention created momentum. So the story started spreading. He sent a press release once the site hit early traction. And media outlets picked it up, first smaller coverage, then bigger. Now the pitch wasn't just, buy ad space. It became, be part of the internet's strangest financial experiment before it fills up. Companies weren't only buying pixels. They were buying a place inside a story people wanted to repeat. The counter climbed. The grid filled. Within months, the project snowballed into a real phenomenon. By the end of the year, the page was basically sold out. And then came the final move, pure scarcity. On January 1st, 2006, the last 1,000 pixels weren't sold normally. They were auctioned on eBay. And that auction pushed the total past the target. Final gross revenue, $1,037,100. A broke student turned a single web page into a life-changing financial outcome. And the craziest part, the idea still looked stupid. Even after it worked, people misunderstand this story. They think it was easy because it was simple. But simple ideas are the hardest to execute because they look unimpressive at the beginning. And unimpressive ideas get ignored or mocked. This wasn't a tech breakthrough. It was a distribution breakthrough. A bet on human behavior. The real skill wasn't building a website. It was staying in the game while the internet stayed silent. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they can't tolerate early silence. The $1 million homepage wasn't magic. It was proof of something powerful. The internet rewards what spreads. And what spreads is what people remember. And sometimes, the ideas that change your financial future aren't complex. They're bold. So if you have an idea that feels too simple, don't kill it. Because one strange idea, plus courage, can rewrite your entire future. And if you want more true stories where mindset meets money, you know what to do.